Live from the West Allies, it's time to burn rubber here at the Milwaukee Mile, the oldest operating motor speedway in the world for race number 12. Jake Sylvia still leads the points, but Peterson, Turzak, and Crow are all within reaching distance. You won't miss a second here on the Misfit Touring Series presented by V-Speed. My name is Scott Shive, and I am joined by Sky Shrek and our executive producer, DJ Lyon. Well, Sky, we have talked about this race for the past few weeks. We are here at the Milwaukee Mile. We've run 1 mile track before at Phoenix. That was 50 laps, however. We've got 100 laps, so double that length here tonight. What should these drivers expect, or how should these drivers drive in a long race like this tonight?
Yeah, I was going to say, this feels kind of like our Enduro, like our version of the Coke 600 here. We're doing 100 laps at Milwaukee Mile, which is about, I'd say, twice as long as any other race we've ran this season. So it's really going to be a test of endurance and attrition. These drivers are going to have to make sure that they're still there at the end if they want to claim the grand prize after 100 laps.
They'll have to be able to be there to claim that prize, getting the win and advancing themselves in these points. So far, we've had 11 races so far. We ran last week at North Wilkesboro. And again, I'm going to keep reminding you every week, we are going to get that New Hampshire race back in. We do not know if that will be broadcasted yet or not, but we will get that in for the points. But again, we got the Milwaukee Mile tonight, then we go to the Bull Ring next week. That is going to be fun. But right now, we're in West Allies. And man, this place right near the coast of Wisconsin, I say the coast, near the Great Lakes, at this long speedway that is hosted NASCAR and IndyCar, Sky.
Yeah, it's one of the most famous tracks in racing. I mean, it's been around for so long. It opened in 1903, was first paved in 1954. As mentioned there, 9-degree banking in the corners. Milwaukee Mile, 1 mile in length. It's going to be a really fun one tonight. We're really excited.
Yeah, opened in 1905. It is one of the oldest short tracks in the world. Take a look at our point standings here. Jake Sylvia still sits at the top, but look at that. Christian Peterson, Justin Crow, Jake Grout, and Kyle Turzak are all right there. Turzak just a little bit back after missing a few races, but he won last week at North Wilkesboro. And look at how close it is between Peterson and Grout. Only 70 points between them, so a win could absolutely swing them above a Jake Sylvia. So a lot of drivers in the hunt for that championship lead right now.
For sure, and we're getting ready for our first grid tonight. These drivers lining up and beginning their parade laps. We're going to get that lineup to you here in a second, but we're going to have 2 heats tonight, 6 cars in the first, 5 cars in the second, with our top 5 qualifiers being Ryan Kuhn, Jake Grout, Kyle Turzak, Matt Urban, and Michael Wiseman. They're all go straight into the feature tonight.
Well, here we go. We got a new way of presenting our stuff tonight. I'm excited about that. We got Cody Dempster here starting on the top. And man, just missed out on that qualifying. And man, qualifying is so difficult here, Sky, because you're in the gas almost all around this entire mile track. And so you have to get it perfect.
For sure, it can be really difficult to kind of separate your times from everybody else. Everyone ran within about 2 or 3 tenths of a second here.
We'll have this grid here. Cody Dempster will be on your pole for this heat. There'll be Jake Sylvia on the outside. Then on the inside will be the 86 of Justin Crow and Jace Hale there on the outside. Then there in 5th and 6th will be Larry Gibson making his first start here tonight. And then the 12 of Matt Mingo, who I don't believe is in the session yet.
I do not. No, he is not on the grid for this heat. So it'll be a 5-car heat race. Larry Gibson will be bringing up the rear there in 5th.
Yeah, Matt Mingo making a lot of starts here in the Misfit Touring League. Let's see, I've got on my charts how many he's made. He's made 8 starts so far, so surprised not to see him grid up in this heat. But man, Cody Dempster, we have seen him fast here this season. Obviously, he had some trouble early on, had a little bit of a, what's the word for it I'm looking at? I'm looking for the word, Sky. You know it better than I
do. Turbulence.
Turbulence. There you go. I'll take that one. Has had 4 starts so far in the season. He's had 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. So every time he has started a race here in the Touring Series Season 2, he has finished in that top 10. We'll see if he can continue that streak here tonight. And again, long pace laps. Sky, what are you expecting for these heat races right here as we go green down into turn number 1?
I think we're expecting the drivers to not be, I'm going to say, too hard on these tires, not be too hard on these cars. They're going to race each other for sure. They always do in these heat races, but I don't expect to see any super aggressive moves. Pro is looking up the inside of Jake Sylvia right now for second, angling that thing down to the inside into turns 3 and 4 so he can maybe look at Cody Dempster in the lead.
Yeah, Crow will easily have it there down into 3. Meanwhile, back there in the back, that is Larry Gibson right in front of Jace Hale, able to move himself in front of Jace Hale there on that opening lap. Awesome paint scheme right there. I'm absolutely loving it from Larry Gibson. You know what it kind of looks like to me? It looks like, oh, who's that guy? He's running in the Bowman Gray Clash this next week, local driver at Bowman Gray. That's kind of what this paint scheme reminds me of.
I like the little 6 inside the 7 there, the black and white.
I didn't even notice
one of my favorites in the field. They had a couple good ones. Jake Hale runs a similar scheme every week, but it's another one of my favorites in the field.
Well, let's look back up front. Justin Crow has been gaining just a little bit of time on Cody Dempster here as we start this second lap. He is right there on his back bumper. Justin Crow will set that fastest lap, a 30.695. So Crow looking to go fastest here, right here on the bumper of the Cadillac of Cody Dempster. We've still got 6 laps left in this heat race.
Not pushing too hard for the time being on the bumper of that 024 car, but he's close enough that if he wants to make a move, he could absolutely slide him up a little into the corner. For now, Crow is biding his time back behind Cody Dempster. Fastest lap of the race, meanwhile, is Jake Sylvia in third. This doesn't come into play very often in the super late models, but he might be getting a little bit of a draft back there.
I mean, I was going to say it. We've never seen that in short tracks. This might be one of the only places that it might actually carry a factor. You see Justin Crow absolutely carrying that car way wide here. That's going to allow Jake Sylvia to move up on the inside in that number 1 Camry, try to dive down low here into turn 1. He will take that second position away from Crow, but will Crow try the crossover, try to carry momentum here out of turn 2? He won't quite have it, barely on the right rear quarter panel. He's going to have that momentum down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and they'll stay side by side into 3. Sylvia will have the edge. While they're battling, that's going to allow Cody Dempster to get away. Really looking for the lead of this heat race. Sylvia will pull it up in front of Crow, and he'll get second for now.
That's allowed Cody Dempster to get out to almost a 0.4 of a gap lead here in front of Jake Sylvia. So them two battling there on lap number 5 into lap number 6 allowed him to get out ahead. But Jake Sylvia slowly closing the gap here as we've got 3 laps to go here heading into turn number 3. Again, this is a time for these drivers to get more accustomed to this track. They had a long practice. They had a good qualifying. Obviously not as good as they wanted. But again, this is more time to feel out how this track, how their setups feel with this track. Because again, all these weather conditions, I imagine, will be very similar to how it will be when we run this 100-lap feature tonight.
Yeah, still looking 1, 2, 3 here back on Dempster, Sylvia, and Crow. Hale about a second back from them. Gibson about 3 seconds back from this pack. I think we might see a little bit of pack racing tonight. I know that sounds crazy to say in super late models, but you're seeing how close these top 3 are, and you're seeing that you can get a little bit of slipstream here, as Jake Sylvia has demonstrated. Wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of these drivers staying really close together, more than we've seen in recent weeks. White flag is out for Cody Dempster, but Jake Sylvia is there.
Yeah, using the term pack racing and late models in the same sentence almost doesn't even feel right. Jake Sylvia looking for a move here down into turn number 3, tries to send it deep. Cody Dempster moves up high. This is going to give a great run out of the corner for Sylvia. They're going to be side by side exiting the line, but Dempster is going to have the momentum down the front stretch. He wins here in the first heat race.
Cody Dempster gets your first heat win of the night, and the lineup following him in that heat race is going to be Jake Sylvia, Justin Crow, Jace Hale, Larry Gibson, and Matt Mingo. Did not take the grid. He was a scratch. Now we're going to move into heat 2, and I believe we're going to have 4 cars in this one.
Yeah, man, what a move there by Jake Sylvia. Just slowly continue to gain time. Obviously, Sylvia leading the top of the points, but always look for him to be up and battling for those points. Here in our second heat race, it will be Christian Peterson. Here on the pole and to his outside will be Kyle Adams in that number 24 V-Speed machine. Then it'll be the number 60 of Jesse Janes, and on his outside, that will be the 57 of Alex Hallinar, and Craig Wilcott currently not on the charts right now, but if he does start, he will start on the inside in that 5th position. So we'll have to see if he makes the grid tonight, but should be 5 cars, possibly 4. Sky, do you expect to see the same?
I think we're going to see a pretty similar heat race where the front of the grid is still like really locked together, but the back of the field maybe has 1 or 2 cars that kind of fall off of it. It's less cars in this heat race, only 4, so I'm not anticipating any sorts of like big accidents or drama, but I think we will have a really close race for the lead. Kyle Adams and Christian Peterson are both drivers who I think can get it done right here.
Yeah, I'm really loving this new scheme on Christian Peterson. I really do. I want to get your thoughts, because we saw it last week in North Wilkesboro, and I'm digging it. I really am.
I think it's kind of the opposite of what he used to run. He used to have kind of an all-black scheme on that 171 Skyline chassis car. He switched it up to a little bit of red and white there, kind of a fire theme on the bottom, similar to Kyle Adams on his outside.
Well, and I got to give a shout out to Adams, because so Adams has run this paint scheme before. It's not the exact same, but last year in season 1, he ran this awesome throwback to Jeff Gordon in the 24, and it was this fire paint scheme, but it was a little bit more yellow and maroon, and it's the favorite late model stock paint scheme I have ever seen, and he was gonna run it for me at Phoenix, but I was not able to be at that race, and so he's running it here again on the mile. Again, not exactly the same, but it's a paint scheme he knows that I enjoy. And so thank you, Kyle, for running this scheme again. 4 cars grid up for this 8-lap heat race. Green flag is away. Christian Peterson and Kyle Adams on the front row.
The inside's definitely where you want to be here because it's the shortest line around the racetrack. Christian Peterson is going to prove that on the jump, making the move down to the bottom from the inside lane, but Kyle Adams is going to try to take a peek under him, heading down the back straightaway. He's going to try it into 3, and Kyle Adams will stick the nose down on Peterson. Maybe a little bit of contact there, but they keep it steady, and they're going to go side by side out of 4.
Oh my gosh, Adams was absolutely sideways, throwing it into turn 3. Got him the edge on the exit. Now here into turn number 1. Peterson is going to battle back on the outside. Oh, you see Adams get way loose on the apron down there, bumps up into Peterson. That's going to allow him to move into first place here and down the backstretch. But down into turn number 3, will Peterson make a move?
You can really use all of this racetrack here. We've seen a couple drivers go down on the apron there in 1 and 2. I saw Jace Hale at one point put all 4 tires below that apron. If it's paved, these drivers are using it tonight at the Milwaukee Mile because the fastest line is as low as you can go. Fastest lap, Kyle Adams, but Peterson's going to take advantage of the bottom to steal the lead away, and he'll pull up in front of him at a 2.
Yeah, you got to be careful of those curves. We saw Kyle Adams get loose over those yellow curbs. And so, yes, while it is paved, you can go down low there in turns 1 and 2. You have got to be careful because it's easy to get loose. Another thing here tonight that we're going to be looking at, Sky, is that I feel that right rear preservation is going to be key in the 100-lap feature race tonight.
For sure. I mean, with how many laps you're going to have to run, we've seen some races this year where drivers haven't had to pit for tires at all. You are absolutely going to need to pit for tires and fuel tonight. So it's really going to be different on these strategies and on these drivers to make these tires last for the whole race. For sure. Kyle Adams still looking on Christian Peterson halfway through the heat race, 4 to go.
Looking along here with Jesse Janes in his number 60 late model machine. Right now running in 3rd, trying to gain some time as we cross over into lap number 5. Alex Hallinar back there, 1 second back from Janes. Janes 0.3 of a second back from Kyle Adams. But it's all about Christian Peterson right now as we have 4 laps left to go here in this heat race, and I've loved to watch Peterson and Adams battle. It's been clean, it's been fun, and I hope this is some of the action that we see here tonight as we go into the feature and we cross over to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of cars really close together in the feature race. Kyle Adams putting all 4 tires there off the banking, trying to get something going on Christian Peterson, but he's really found something out in front of that field, stealing the fastest lap of the race away. Opening up about a 0.2 of a second gap here, which is close to the largest we've seen in this entire heat race. Adams continues to lurk in 2nd, while Jesse Janes still there in 3rd behind.
2 laps to go as we come here to cross the stripe. It's still Peterson out by 0.2 of a second. You look at that entry there by Kyle Adams, just able to ship it just a little bit deeper, but he's going to go wide here on the exit of 2. That's going to slow him down here on the back straightaway. Again, we don't see it often in this short track style of racing, but momentum is going to be key at a racetrack like this.
For sure. White flag out this time around for Christian Peterson. He has some momentum right now because he's pulling away from the cars behind, running great laps out front in that 171 car. He's really found a line that works for him right there, as you see every driver scraping that apron to get everything they can. Coming down the back straightaway, he'll be half a quarter of a second clear. There you go.
Yeah, Christian Peterson continues to run out front here, but Adams still lurking. Look for them both to be fast here tonight. Christian Peterson has been looking for that elusive win. Well, he's going to win in the heat. He's going to look to do it again in the feature.
Christian Peterson gets it done in the first heat race. Kyle Adams second, Jesse James third, Alex Allen our fourth, Craig Wilcott a scratch on the heat race tonight. And with that, we're going to get you ready for the feature.
Man, this is going to be absolutely grueling.
We're going to throw it down trackside for your national anthem.
Well, here we are again. 100 laps tonight is going to be grueling here for these drivers. We're going to have an invert of 6 here tonight. That will mean Heat 1 winner Cody Dempster will start on the pole, and pole sitter Ryan Kuhn will start back in 6th. Again, let's remember these first 6 will be reversed. So Ryan Kuhn will start in 6th. Jake Grout will start here in 5th. Then Kyle Turzak will start in 4th. Matt Urban will start in 3rd in his 48 machine. Then on the front row, it'll be Michael Weissman starting the outside, and Cody Dempster will be on your pole here. Again, heat winner in heat number 1. Then it'll be Christian Peterson in 7th. Jake Sylvia starting 8th. Then back here in 9th, it'll be the 24 of Kyle Adams and Justin Crow in the 86, rounding out your top 10.
And the back end of your field tonight, Jesse James rolls off 11th in the number 60, Jace Hale rolling off 12th in that number 9 car. 13th tonight will be Alex Hallinar in the 57, and last car on the field will be the 76 of Larry Gibson in 14th. And then we got Craig Wilcott and Matt Mingo on the grid, but they are not in the session tonight and are scratched from the feature.
So one new driver tonight, Sky, and Larry Gibson starting up the back, but man, I've said it, but this is, we've talked about it, this is going to be a long race here tonight. And we just mentioned it in the heat races, but what are you expecting about these tires? Because what I've known from a track like this, it is very easy to burn off your right rear.
Oh, for sure, especially with how many laps we're going to be running here tonight. These drivers are going to have to be more careful than they've been in any other race this season to make their tires hold on. It's going to be 100 laps, like we said, long race in these cars, and these drivers are just going to have to keep it steady, not push too hard, and make sure they have something left towards the end of the run.
Yeah, this is Ryan Kuhn's second start of this series this season. We saw him a little bit more often back in season 1, but he started once back at Phoenix, and he won there. That's one of your drivers to look at, as well as Kyle Turzak and Jake Sylvia. We got a lot of fast drivers here, but man, if you want to win this race, you're going to have to beat Ryan Kuhn. That's my call, Sky.
Well, there's some guys in the field that we know can do it. Kyle Turzak's won so many races this year. Jake Grout's got a win. Sylvia, Peterson, Dempster, they've all been up there. There's a lot of quality in this field tonight. There's a lot of guys that I think could get it done.
Yeah, Peterson, 3 top 2s so far, 3 second places. Jake Sylvia, a top 10 in every race except one. Obviously, 5 wins out of Kyle Turzak and 1 win out of Jake Grout. A lot of capable drivers in this field tonight. Will be a race of endurance, not as long as the Daytona 24, but it'll be the Milwaukee Mile for 100 laps. So 100 miles here tonight. We go green here at the Milwaukee Mile.
And a great jump on that pole position for Cody Dempster will put him clear down into turn 1. Behind him, Michael Wiseman's gotten clear a second, but we're still side by side for 3rd. Matt Urban, Kyle Turzak working 3rd and 4th, and behind them it'll be Jake Grout in 5th. Side by side for 6th, Peterson and Kuhn.
Yeah, Turzak gets a little bit of the wall there on the exit of 2, trying to prevail here on the outside, but Urban will get the spot here out of turn number 4. Can't quite slide up into that outside lane. Turzak has a little bit of momentum as we see shuffling in the back. Turzak will slide into 4th position, so we look back to our most near battle, and it looks like everyone is almost single filed out. Jake Grout looking here on the inside of Turzak, nothing doing for him. So it looks like Jace Hale is the only car there not feeding into file, but we look along here with Kyle Turzak right now, and look, we got his driver cam. He's wearing the helmet tonight.
He is all ready to go. He's got the helmet, he's got a fire suit. If he flips that thing into the catch fence, he's the one driver who's gonna walk away unscathed.
Look at this move by Matt Urban, trying to move around Michael Weissman for 2nd position early on lap number 3 of this race. Kyle Turzak trying to follow him through. Urban will get it done out of turn number 2. Now Turzak sends it into turn 3.
They're still looking side by side. A little further back on the field, Ryan Kuhn has fallen all the way to 10th. He was stuck on that outside early and couldn't get any positions, but hasn't been helped. He hasn't really been able to get back up there. I wonder if he's waiting and saving tires maybe for later on in this run.
Yeah, I wonder as well. Big crossover here from Kyle Turzak. Got to the inside of Matt Urban here after he slipped up out of the exit of 4. Urban gets the wall a little bit there, but Peterson looks to make it 3 wide. He'll back out. That'll leave Turzak on the inside of Urban, still battling for 2nd. Meanwhile, Dempster out to 2.5 tenths of a second. He wants these cars to continue to battle. Turzak gets it done, and Peterson moves it up into 3rd.
Yeah, a bit too early for a 3 wide, but we've seen Peterson pull those moves later in the race multiple times this season. We know he's willing to do it, and I think if it's 5 to go and Peterson sees that 3 wide situation, he's going to send it. Right now, he's looking on Kyle Turzak for 2nd. He'll get around him on the inside. That line is really the fastest line all the way around right now, and he'll now have Matt Urban down there as well, trying to also follow him around Turzak.
Got to be aggressive if you want to win here in the Misfit Touring Series. And look at this, Turzak going to back out here. It's going to try to complete the crossover. Not going to quite be able to do it, so that moves Matt Urban back up into 3rd. Meanwhile, Christian Peterson advancing on Cody Dempster quickly.
I think Peterson might have the fastest car in the field. Came all the way back from 7th to get up to 2nd in the early going of this race, and he's looking for the lead. You gotta wonder if he's burning up those tires, but I don't think he'll be able to complain too much if he does steal the lead away from the 24 car here on lap 7.
I was going to say, let's remember that this is a long race here tonight. As we look on here with Christian Peterson, battle for the lead up front for the first time tonight. Cody Dempster's first challenge. Peterson throws it down on the inside, trying to get that great turn out of turn number 4. Will Dempster have momentum here on the exit? Not quite enough. New leader, 171, Christian Peterson.
And behind him, everyone's staying pretty close together. Like I said, the top 9 cars all within a 1.5 seconds now back to Kyle Adams. A lot of drivers running really similar lap times, really similar pace, kind of a pack racing type setup. Back there to that 24 car, and then a second pack behind them from Ryan Kuhn back to Larry Gibson.
Yeah, Kuhn, gotta wonder if he's trying to save tire, if that's his plan at all. You'll see Jesse Janes, this is the look from Jesse Janes in his number 60, currently in 11th out of the 14 cars that have started here tonight. Gotta wonder if these drivers are trying a strategy to save tire. And another question, Sky, when will they pit? Will they break this into 2 pit stops or 1?
Well, I think it might just depend on how worn their tires are. If you think you can stretch it, the 50 laps, go for it. But if you're really, really struggling and you're moving back through the field, I think it might be worth it to take 2. All kind of depends on how well you're able to save in the early part of this run. We've seen some cars save, guys like Ryan Kuhn hanging out in 10th, and then we've seen some cars go for it, like Jake Grout is right now up the inside of Jake Sylvia. They're still moving up the track, still going. Somehow no one wrecks. We're side by side down the back straightaway.
Aggressive move by Grout. We've seen them out of him before. Tries to move Sylvia out of the way in turn number 1. Now he's trying to do it here in turn number 3 and on the exit of 4. Sylvia's going to let him by.
Well, I don't think Sylvia's going to be too happy about what happened right there. And if he gets back up to Jake Grout, he might have some words about that move. Right now, it's Michael Wiseman in the 74 looking down at the inside of that 1 car. Sylvia stuck on that top. He needs a spot to get down to the bottom, and he will find it ahead of Wiseman, but behind Jake Grout. And now he's going to be the one making the send into 3.
Yeah, Sylvia had a great run there on the exit of 2, able to get around Grout here on the inside. So nothing doing there for Jake Grout. Now Michael Weissman on the inside of Grout. So it's really a lot of crossover moves happening here at the Milwaukee Mile. Really able to set that up a lot. Dempster has fallen back to 3rd. Matt Urban has moved up into 2nd. But Christian Peterson out by half a second to the lead.
Yeah, you've got such long straightaways here. It kind of lends itself to setting up crossovers. You can get a good run out of the corner, and then you've got a really long straightaway to pull up to the inside of that car in front of you and get the move done. Kind of similar to what we saw last week in North Wilkesboro, where you could just back it out to the top in the corner, send it down to the bottom off exit, and you would pull almost a guaranteed crossover down into 3 and 4 every time.
Yeah, we saw that a lot last week at North Wilkesboro. Looking at the times right now, a lot of drivers' best lap times are a 31 flat. And remember when we were doing the heat races, we saw 30.6s, 30.7s. So drivers saving a little bit here already, knowing that they cannot abuse this tire. Because again, we've got 87 laps to go here in this race. Again, we're going to say it all night long. A long time as we see Cody Dempster trying to move back into 2nd.
Yeah, these drivers, their fastest laps this race are about a second behind their qualifying time. So they're not going as fast as they could be. They're making sure that they still have tires left for the later stint of this run. And so far, the fall off hasn't been too severe. Everyone's running within about 2/10 or so of their best lap right now. Cody Dempster's gotten back up to 2nd. Terzak getting through for 3rd as Matt Urban slips back to 4th. The fastest cars right now seem to be pretty consistently the guys at the back of this line because they're able to get some draft. Grout, Wiseman, Kyle Adams, and sometimes Jake Sylvia are all running the fastest laps out of anybody right now.
Yeah, you know who's not thinking about the draft right now? Christian Peterson. He's out by now 0.6 of a second. So golly, this man is bad fast. And does he get the win here tonight? It has been so elusive for him, Sky, so far in this series. He's had 8 starts. He's had 3 second-place finishes, but has not been able to get the win when in so many races he has looked like he was there.
He's got the best car in the early stages of this race. We know he can get it done on the short run now, but this is a race that's really going to be defined by the long run as we're side by side back here for 7th. Adams making a little bit of contact with Wiseman there in that 74 car. It's really going to be a race of, I know this battle might not show it, but not pushing too hard, because if you blow your stuff up on lap 17 now, you're not going to have anything left for the rest of this.
Yeah, Weissman throws the crossover. A little bit of contact there on the exit of turn number 2. But look right ahead. Sylvia and Grout continue to swap positions, and it's not by ease. Grout continues to make contact. I can bet you that Sylvia is not happy about this.
No, he's still kind of running in that mid-pack, even though he's been running some of the fastest lap times in the field right now. The only problem is, the only car who's really consistently ran faster than him is Jake Grout. So these two are kind of stuck in the mid-pack, going back and forth, trying to make passes on each other while also trying to get out of this line and move themselves further up in the field. Grout still a little bit back of Matt Urban in the 48.
Yeah, continue to battle here. What a great night for Matt Urban so far, running in the top 5 here all night long. Haven't seen him prevail too much here in recent races that he's been able to make. Just luck quite hasn't swung his way. But right now, looking good for him. Looking along here right now out of the camera of Jace Hale in his number 9 late model stock machine. Currently running 11th. He passed Jesse James just a few laps ago, but continuing to run right behind Ryan Kuhn. And Ryan Kuhn running 1.2 seconds behind Kyle Adams. I've got to believe he's saving tire.
I think so, and I think he's gotten to the point where he's lost the draft almost of the cars in front of him. Sort of like a Daytona situation. You get yourself out of the main pack, and it becomes a lot harder to make your way back up there. So Ryan Kuhn is running with Hale and Janes kind of in a line, 10th through 12th, while these top 9 cars are all still within 2 seconds of each other, taking advantage of the draft from the car in front of them. Jake Sylvia has gotten back around Jake Grout. Wiseman still lurking behind this battle in 7th.
Yeah, Wiseman fell down a little bit earlier, been handling it about 7th so far. We look along here with Jake Grout, just over 100 miles per hour. We saw it a little faster earlier in those heat races, but again, these drivers trying to save that tire because, again, it is so important because later on, if you don't have it, you will plummet to the back. So really important for these drivers to continue to save, not be too aggressive. And sometimes being too aggressive can be a little difficult for Grout. It's one thing that has gotten him the wins, but sometimes it's also gotten him in big trouble.
For sure, he's definitely one of the more aggressive drivers in the field while simultaneously being one of the faster drivers in the field. I mean, we've seen a couple races this year where basically the only car who was able to make the top work all night long was Jake Grout. He finds speed in ways others don't. He's found a lot of speed right now, just ran the second fastest lap of the race on lap 23. He's got it going, but he's still in that mid-pack, and he's still kind of using that draft to get those really good lap times.
Looking along here, this is Christian Turzak. That's not a person. There's Christian Peterson, and then there's Kyle Turzak. Turzak here again in his helmet with the cam. He's even got the suit on. I just realized he's got his Sparko suit on that he runs in his late model in real life. But currently Turzak running here 3rd in the sim, right behind Cody Dempster. And look at this, Cody Dempster and Turzak closing little bit by little bit on Christian Peterson. The gap now under 0.4 of a second.
And the lap times right now are really starting to drop. Almost every driver in the race running their fastest lap last time around, with the fastest lap overall going to Ryan Kuhn back in 10th.
Yeah, Kuhn, we're going to wonder when he's going to start to try to make his move. But look at this. Remember when I said like 3 laps ago that the difference between him and Adams was 1.2 seconds? Well, now it's under 0.6 of a second. He closed half that gap in 2 laps.
And that top 3 is really getting away. Turzak and Dempster have caught up to Christian Peterson, while Matt Urban, Jake Sylvia, Jake Grout, and all those cars following have really started to fall back. Ryan Kuhn is also getting some extra speed because he's feeling a draft from Kyle Adams, who's kind of gotten himself stuck in between the 2 packs. So finally some breaking apart going on of this front train that had been going for about 25 laps now. We'll see if these top 3 are able to stay clear of the rest of the field behind them.
Looking here with our new telemetry, you'll see this is Cody Dempster and Kyle Turzak battling just under 1/10 of a second between them here on the exit of turn number 4. Kyle Turzak looks to the inside, shows the nose here into turn 1, finally goes to make his move. Dempster sends it there on the outside, will try to carry momentum here, but Turzak has the best line, but Dempster will try to carry momentum out of turn 2, won't quite have enough to be able to. Turzak moves into second.
We know Terzak can win races. I mean, he's won at least 5 of them in this series now. He's had so much speed this season. This would just be another one to boost his run towards that points championship this year. He's 6/10 back at Christian Peterson, but if he has speed, he can get there. We'll see what he can do because we've still got a lot of time left in this race.
Yeah, if he wins here tonight, he will definitely be able to jump up into that top 2, but I don't think a win here tonight will boost him over Jake Sylvia. Just missed a few too many races to be able to do that, but I have no doubt that if Terzak can get the win here tonight and a good solid finish here in the next couple races, that he can get back to the top of those standings, because man, he has been one of the fastest drivers all series long. As we look back here, Jake Grout and Jake Sylvia continue to do battle.
They're still going at it for sure. They've been going at it for what feels like about 20 laps now. None of these drivers wanting to give an inch to the other. And while they've been battling, Michael Wiseman has just kind of been watching this go on for a while now. Grout kind of leaning on Sylvia off the corner. If a mistake is made by one of these two, or one of these two starts to get faster, expect Wiseman to follow through and see if he can follow them around.
Yeah, Grout's been playing a little nicer here, makes contact again right as I say it. Loose out of turn 2, but man, they continue to fight side by side. Man, he is still making contact.
And he's getting pushed by Wiseman, and that's going to throw Sylvia up the racetrack. And now it's Michael Wiseman to the point on the bottom. He's going to try to get a 2-for-1 out of 4. He'll be 5th at the line, but Grout has a little bit of a run down into 1. Wiseman will get the spot, and now Justin Crowe is going to try to slip through as well. It's going to be the same battle between Grout and Sylvia, but they've both been demoted 2 positions.
Yeah, Sylvia lost 3 right there. Now Grout looks to block. Man, he is being uber aggressive here in the start of this race. So remember, we still got over 70 laps, exactly 70 laps to go in this race. We'll cross over 269 to go. But Grout looking back on the inside here into turn number 1. I gotta imagine that Sylvia is fed up by now. Oh yeah,
there he goes.
It's gonna go around. Sylvia's gonna check him back up. Then Adams is around, and Ryan Kuhn, caution is out.
Yeah, I mean, you basically called it there. The moment you said that, I saw both of those cars go onto the apron and make some contact back there. We're going to need to get a replay on that.
I can't say I'm surprised at all. I mean,
yeah.
Grout had been asking for it. I look at our drivertees.com replay right here. You'll see Sylvia pull the crossover, try to jump to the inside here. They make contact, gets Grout around. Then Sylvia tried to get him clear, and then Kuhn and Adams make contact behind.
Yeah, that was kind of just a checkup issue there with Adams and Kuhn. One car slowed up a little faster than the other expected, and Kuhn kind of got put into the back of Adams. You'll see that here, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Adams got on the brakes. Kuhn didn't expect him to get on the brakes that quick. Kind of a stack up there from that initial accident.
Yeah, man, I know Jake Sylvia was absolutely fed up with how Grout was racing him. So not surprised to see that move. Not surprised to see this move. Kyle Terzak tries to fake it out, but almost everyone, yes, everyone coming into the pit lane here for fresh tires and fuel. So not surprised to see. So that I imagine that will split our race up into 2 pit stops. But now that I think about this, Sky, will someone try to go from here to the end?
Well, I don't think so, but it's definitely possible. If we get another caution around, I'd say 20, 25 laps from now, I think everybody's coming down. But if it goes green, well, that's when fuel comes in, that's when strategy comes in, and I think it'll be really interesting to see who does what. Cody Dempster leads them off, Kyle Terzak second, Justin Crowe in third.
Yeah, Christian Peterson, long time in the pit lane there, long time in the box, 25.3 seconds. I imagine maybe he had some damage or something. We see Grout still in the pit lane. Jace Hale, 20 seconds. Jesse Janes, 34 seconds. So Christian Peterson goes from the lead to 9th. We're going to take a quick break here. 67 laps left to go in this race as we saw some drama there from Jake Sylvia and Jake Grout.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Dempster started himself on the pole. He cycled back up into the front here on this pit stop. And look at that. Ryan Kuhn up into third. Meanwhile, Jake Sylvia, after incident with Jake Grout, is in fourth, but battling with Matt Urban on the inside. Meanwhile, one spot ahead, Kuhn looks to make a move here into turn number 3.
And Sylvia took a little peek up the inside of Kuhn, trying to make it 3 wide. Thought better of it. Backed out, and he'll stay in fourth for now. Ryan Kuhn finally showing the speed that we know he has in that 72 car to take it up to second. Sylvia's gonna look to the inside of Justin Crowe for third, and he'll try to move up onto the podium.
Another question, will Christian Peterson be able to work his way through this field like he did earlier? It's something we'll have to see. Big move by Matt Urban down on the inside. Doesn't make the move down into turn number 3, but a big move there. Tried to fake it out. Meanwhile, Sylvia now on the inside. No, that's not Jake Grout. That's Justin Crowe. Finally battling with someone new on track. Jake Grout now all the way in the back after that incident. Had a long pit stop in the box. So Sylvia and Crowe here now go to battle. Cody Dempster sets the fastest lap, 30.729.
Man, we very nearly had a caution there. Matt Urban almost lost it on the nose of Michael Wiseman, but they kept it clean. Now Michael Wiseman is all the way up the track and into the outside wall back there in turn 3.
It's a difficult feat to be able to hit this outside wall. I mean, there is so much racetrack. Take a look back at it here from Weissman. Oh yeah, that was almost an instant. You saw Adams get into Weissman there. Weissman had to take evasive action, use the wall to right himself. Take another look at it here, Sky, from drivercheese.com replay.
Yeah, Adams was looking under Wiseman at the same time Wiseman was trying to look under Matt Urban, and Wiseman was the one who got the worst of it. A little scrape to the outside wall, but I don't think he took too much damage, and he only lost spots to Adams and Christian Peterson, who's driving it back from 6th right now.
Yeah, he's up in 6th, started back in 9th here on this restart. Weissman driving it in deep, a little bit of contact there with Adams, trying to move his way back after Adams roughed him up just a lap ago. So solidifies himself back into that spot. Only Christian Peterson now is in the spot he was earlier. That is the spot of 6. Christian Peterson, the gap to him and Matt Urban, 7, almost 8/10 of a second now.
And this top 3 cars are kind of in a pack right now. The top 5, I guess I'd say, are all really in a pack. Back to Christian Peterson in 6th. It's a second from Urban. Oh! Big loose and big into the outside wall for Jesse Janes.
Yeah, Jesse Janes there battling with Jace Hale. Contact between them on the entry to 1. That's going to be a destroyer there for Jesse Janes. Take a look at the drivertees.com replay. Janes into the inside. Hale turns down low. That gets Janes sideways. And then Janes nowhere to go but the outside wall.
Well, I got good news for Jesse Janes. He does have a fast repair, so he'll be able to fix that car out and continue on in this race. But he is going to have to go to the back to get that car fixed. Probably the biggest hit we'll see all night. Big into the outside wall for the 60 car.
Well, and no caution for him. All the traffic was gone. Nobody coming for a long time. No reason for the caution to be thrown. So he's just now going a lap down here as the rest of these cars enter into turn number 1. So I'll have to get that fast repair and get back out on track and hope that they will bring out another caution. It's still Cody Dempster out front. Ryan Kuhn just under 0.3 of a second back, hunting down that 024.
Yeah, Christian Peterson is trying to inch closer to Matt Urban. He's leading that second line of him back to Jake Grout, but they're remaining separated from those top 5 cars, all kind of racing each other. Ryan Kuhn drops down into the corner really early there, and Sylvia does kind of a classic crossover move. We've seen it happen a lot this race. You go high on entry, get on the brakes so that you can get speed to run the bottom on exit, so you can try to get a better speed down the straightaway than the car in front of you. Doesn't work for him that time, but I have to imagine we might see him try it again soon.
Yeah, he's been trying it a lot, tried it a lot there earlier on Grout, but man, look at these top 4, all really close to top 5, really. Cody Dempster through Matt Urban, all making up your top 5, but man, look at Jake Sylvia trying to get that. The win has been elusive for him as well. We haven't seen him quite up front as much, battling for the win, but man, he has been inside the top 3 in so many races, just so close to being in the fight for that win, but just not enough. Could tonight be that night that Sylvia gets back to victory lane after he won the last time in season 1? This is Kyle Adams here, back in 7th, fighting with Kyle Turzak.
Adams, another driver who's had some good runs but hasn't been able to get any wins this season, and he's running right ahead of Kyle Turzak, who's got a ton of wins this season, and Christian Peterson, who's got a ton of second places and has a lot of speed. So he's doing pretty decent for himself right now, but he needs Michael Wiseman in front of him to start catching that Matt Urban car in 5th. Turzak will take a peek to the inside of Kyle Adams, and we'll see if he can get anything by running down onto the apron. The 24 tries to squeeze him off the corner, and it'll work for now, but a little wiggle down the back straightaway will forfeit some speed.
Yeah, Turzak using his right front to move Adams up high there in turn number 2. Now Adams has to dive in deep, gets up high here out of turn number 4. Turzak's going to have the speed down here into turn number 1 and have the edge down here to take away 7th position. He'll do it right here, and that leaves the door up for Peterson. Peterson makes contact with Adams. Adams in the ground. They're spinning. Caution, no caution is out. Now it is out.
Kyle Adams stalled, and oh, big contact with Alex Hallinar there at the bottom of the racetrack.
Hallinar still going fast after the caution is thrown. Big contact between him and Adams. They'll both have to take a fast repair here for sure.
Adams, I don't think he was looking where he was going when he tried to get that car spun around. Hallinar did his best to try to dodge that, but it's really difficult to do when you've got a car coming back down the racetrack right in front of you.
You'll see the contact here between Peterson and Adams into turn number 1. Peterson just gets his left rear. That gets Adams loose, not quite able to save it. Grout almost corrects him. That sends him sideways. Right here, the caution comes out, and then you'll see Alex Hallinar compiling in. Oh, man.
Yeah, that hit was in the grass. I think Hallinar was trying to get around him and avoid that wreck on the inside. Adams started coming down the racetrack, trying to get the car spun back around, and Hallinar just, yeah, he can't go anywhere. Adams just came down in front of him.
Yeah, and at that point, I don't know if I can blame it on Hallinar. He was going low because Adams looked like he was stopped up high. And so I imagine Adams probably should have looked out of his window net there to see if anyone else was coming. I imagine he thought everyone was gone. Meanwhile, everyone here taking this opportunity to get more tires and fuel. Short pit stop there for Christian Peterson. Looks like he might have only taken fuel.
He'll certainly come out in good position. You're going to see these pit stops timings. Jake Sylvia also came out quickly there in just about 7 seconds. It was 11 for Crow. Also a short 7-second pit stop for Jace Hale. So varying strategies here between some of these cars in the field. EOL penalty is given to Christian Peterson though, so he'll have to go to the back anyways.
Well, and at that point, that's what I'm thinking. I imagine that he's going to claim that one, and wow, it looks like he took fuel only, so why not take 4?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're going to go to the back anyway, it would definitely be the better idea to make sure you have fresh tires on it for the last 50 laps of this race. Not sure there, but the lights on the pace car are off, so he's going to have to go green this time around on whatever he's got.
We'll have to see how that will all play out for him. He just had worked his way back from the back. He'll have to try to do it again here for the third occurrence. This will put Jake Sylvia back up front. Ryan Kuhn, who was hunting down leader Cody Dempster, will start in 6th, and Cody Dempster will start in 4th. Meanwhile, Turzak has moved up the grid. He was battling back in 6th. Well, now he's going to start 3rd here on the outside. Sylvia will choose the outside here for the restart, and look who it is. Justin Crowe, continually battling within the top 5 in almost every race here this season. It's why he's in the top 5 in the overall points right now. He'll try to battle for the win, but Sylvia gets a great launch on the outside. Green flag is away.
We know that top works well on the restarts. Jake Sylvia proves it right there, but Crowe is going to ride that inside to the bottom of Kyle Turzak in 3rd. Turzak will have the momentum down the back straight away, but the 86 of Crowe is not going away just yet, and he'll have the advantage down into 3.
Yeah, Crowe gonna have a great run here out of turn number 4. That opens the door for Cody Dempster to move to the inside of Turzak. Turzak, bad run out of 4. Then he's gonna lose 2 spots in one go.
Slipping back through the field is Turzak, one of our better drivers in the series with all the wins he's had this season. Looking on the outside of the podium right now, but we know no matter where he goes, he tends to have that speed to get it to the front. Same with Ryan Kuhn behind him. 1 race, 1 win this season. Like I said at the beginning of the race, a lot of talent in this field, and you're seeing those drivers start to migrate towards the front.
Peterson, one of those drivers that has that talent. The only reason he hasn't been able to migrate the front, well, it's because he's been moved to the back. And Jake Sylvia puts out a fastest lap there, 30.631. But Peterson has a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to get back up towards the front. But right now, it's all Jake Sylvia, half a second ahead of Justin Crowe.
Sylvia's definitely got speed right now. He's the fastest car, and he's ran the fastest lap of the race. We're starting to see these lap times drop even further. At the start, they were running about 31-second lap times. Right now, a lot of cars in 30.6, 30.7 range. Still off the 30.1 qualifying times we saw, but getting closer to those top speeds.
See Adams here move around Gibson there. That is a battle back for 11th. And now Adams sets his sights on Jake Grout. Jake Grout, after incident earlier with Sylvia, has not been able to move himself any farther forward as Christian Peterson is continuing to advance, now getting himself here around Jace Hale. Hale going to have to move it around the outside, but not quite going to have enough momentum to get past Peterson again. So Peterson now up into 8th after starting 10th back on the restart, but he's got a big gap to make up between him and Matt Urban. It's almost a second.
And that can really be hard to make up here because of that draft. Once you get a pack like that, kind of 1 through 7 all working together, they can stay within about 2 seconds of each other, and then you've got someone like Christian Peterson who can struggle to get up to you because the lap times are so similar, but you don't have that little extra tug down the straightaways to keep you in line. He might be benefited by the battle going on back here between Urban and Wiseman, because this is going to slow both of these cars down, and that's going to allow Peterson to inch closer to 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Yeah, Urban absolutely sends it there down on the inside of turn 3. He'll send it here again into turn number 1. Weissman will have to give it up. Just not enough to be able to pull it there on the outside. He'll try to pull the crossover here out of turn 2. That will work for him. They'll draw even here down the back straightaway, and Weissman will have the inside lane now. Big send. Urban backs out. Now he's going to try to pull the crossover. Let's see if it works for him.
Yeah, he does. He gets there maybe a little too early. He's right on the bumper. He needs to stay in until the last second to make the dive. Oh, maybe some contact there as Wiseman cuts him off into turn 1. That's going to give him the spot, but it's probably going to make Matt Urban a little angry at him because he'll have to re-rack it and do it again down into 3.
That was a great block there by Weissman. Perfectly timed. Was able to keep Urban behind him because Urban had just enough of a run out of turn number 4. Now single file for the two of these. This has allowed Ryan Kuhn to get away by 0.5 of a second. And yes, it did allow Christian Peterson to catch up. It's now under 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, but now the problem is the gaps are opening kind of between everybody in this field. Crow is still tight with Sylvia, but you've got Dempster, 6/10 back of Crow. Terzak kind of close to Dempster, but then it's another 7/10 back to Kuhn, another 6/10 back to this pack with Wiseman, another 1.5 back from Peterson to Jake Rouse. So we're starting to get some cars spread out here. To make overtakes, you really need to be really close to the car in front of you so you can make these crossovers, get the slipstream, because that's how you're gonna make passes. Dropping about 7/10, 8/10 back is gonna make it really hard to close back up to those cars in front of you.
Yeah, you see the gap here between Christian Peterson in 8th and Jake Sylvia currently leading just under 3 seconds. That last lap between them very even across the charts. But Christian Peterson just before that was running a 10th faster. We'll see across the line right here, Peterson just a little bit slower. But I still believe the way Peterson is able to move through this field, he does have the fastest car here on this racetrack tonight.
Well, like we said, it's indisputable that he's got the fastest short run car. But at a track like Milwaukee, where we've had a pretty clean race so far and where it is such a long race, I think it's going to come down to who has the fastest long run car in terms of, who's going to win this race. That's really going to be the question, and it remains to be seen if Peterson can carry the same speed over a 50-lap run as he's been able to carry over a shorter 10 or 15-lap run like he was earlier in the race.
It's something that will remain to be seen here in the last 38 laps of this race. He has caught Matt Urban now, not able to make a move there in turn number 3. Will he try to set himself up here for turn number 1? Meanwhile, Urban trying to set himself up here on Michael Weissman. Has a great run out of turn number 4. He'll look to make the move down on Weissman for 6th.
Can he get it out of the corner? He won't be clear yet, so Wiseman is going to have a lane back. Will he? Urban's not really blocking up there, and that's going to let Wiseman stick the nose in, but he didn't get enough of a run out to really let himself go to the outside. That'll let Urban get the spot. That'll let Peterson challenge him for 8th. We're looking at our biggest movers there in the bottom right. It's Justin Crow, who's gone +8 from 10th to 2nd, and Jake Sylvia, who's gone +7th from 8th to 1st.
That battle there between Urban and Weissman opened the door for Peterson, but here Weissman getting a great run out of turn 2. He'll try to go back down on the inside. He will. Peterson backs out. Now he's going to try to pull the crossover here. Excellent over the curbs there. He's back to the inside on the exit of 4.
I mean, that's the classic crossover move. You back out on the high line early in the corner, angle it down on exit, and you're really able to get that run through the last part of the corner and down the straightaway to be able to make that move up the inside. We've seen it happen from so many drivers, not just this race, but all season, and this is one of the tracks that really lends itself to that maneuver the most. You're going to see Wiseman try it right here. Starts on the top, goes down a little lower, but he can't get low enough, and that'll let Peterson hold the spot.
Yeah, Weissman too far back right there. And something I want to highlight here, Sky, the top 3 right now, all running within 1 second of each other, but all 3 of them have yet to get a win here this season. If any of those top 3 were to get a win, it'd be their first here of the season.
Yeah, and that's really saying something because these are all cars that we've seen run up front. Jake Sylvia is your current points leader. Justin Crow, we've seen in numerous podium finishes this year. Yeah, Cody Dempster's ran up front all season too. Like, there are so many good cars in this series that haven't been able to break through. Maybe it's going to be time for one of them to finally get it.
Yeah, Terzak and Kuhn. Obviously, we know Terzak has won 5 races here this season, and Ryan Kuhn obviously hasn't won here as much. 1 start, 1 win. He won more back in season 1, but a lot of drivers know his name for how he runs super late models and late model stocks across many other different series. He is a veteran presence here in this late model stock, but the both of them seeming to struggle a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, they're still running a little further back in 4th and 5th. Kuhn, I think, has been saving a little bit, especially in the early portion of this race. We'll see if he can come alive in the last 32 laps as we're across 2/3 of the way through this race. Justin Crowe is trying to get something done on Jake Sylvia for the lead. He'll peek to the inside there. Doesn't have it. We'll see what he's got into turn one.
Yeah, he's been slowly moving in. Jake Sylvia ran a little bit slower that lap, a 30.97. Meanwhile, Crowe was running a 30.82. So almost a tenth and a half between them. Crowe is hounding the back bumper here of Sylvia, but doesn't pull the move down into turn three. Will he try to set up the exit here on turn four? Sylvia drifts wide. Crowe cuts down low. They're going to drift up side by side here, but Sylvia going to have a bit of a run. Will Crowe dive it down? No. Sylvia cuts him off.
Sylvia's doing a great job to defend right now, but we know Crowe can be aggressive. We know he can make moves in this series. You might see one down here into three because he's right on the bumper of Sylvia, but Sylvia goes straight to the bottom to try to hold him. Crowe is going to run into the back of him. Jake Sylvia around from the lead. Caution is out.
Man, Crowe tried to pull the crossover right there, and he just started to get on it too early. Got into the back of Sylvia, and Sylvia goes around.
Trouble for those top two cars. I imagine Crowe is going to be taking an EOL there, and that is going to promote Cody Dempster through to the lead. You'll see the replay here. Yep, just into the left rear of Jake Sylvia. That turns him around. And the DriverTees.com replay giving us a great shot of that accident right there.
And you got to be so frustrated. First off, you're Jake Sylvia. You've been running up front this entire third run here after the pit stop. And, I mean, Crowe had raced you clean so far, and then boom, gets you around. And then for Crowe there, battling for an opportunity to possibly get his first win of the season, and that could have been it.
Yeah, no one's going to pit here, so everybody stays out on the racetrack. With the exception of a couple cars in the back. Jake Hale, Jake Sylvia, and Alex Hallinar are all going to come down to make pit stops. Everyone else staying out. They're on 23 lap-old tires right now, and they're all still on the racetrack.
Yeah, after that incident there for Jake Sylvia, no reason to not come in here and get 4 fresh tires and try to do something here when we go back green, which I imagine will be around 26 laps to go. But man, you got to be frustrated if you're Jake Sylvia right now. You get battled along, bounced around by Kraut earlier on, and then there you get hounded by Crowe. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. 28 laps to go here at Milwaukee.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across.
Back again here, and look at it again. Dempster inherits the lead after caution. Can he finish it off with a win tonight? After that incident there, as we go green here, this promotes Terzak and Kroon from 4th and 5th, now to 2nd and 3rd. I'd be afraid if I were Dempster with those 2 drivers behind.
2 of the best drivers we have in this series, and in particular in this race tonight, because they're running 2nd and 3rd. 3/4 of the way through, it's time to go. You're seeing that right now. Ryan Kuhn almost around twice, but he keeps it straight. Cody Dempster maintains the lead, Kuhn in 2nd, Terzak in 3rd, and they are really going at it right now down the straightaway.
And Ryan Kuhn is right here on the back of Dempster. Will he make the move down in turn number 1? No, he won't. And look at that, Terzak is there. Terzak makes contact with Kuhn, moves him up a lane, tries to open the door for himself.
Doesn't work though, he can't get to the inside of Kuhn. And now Kuhn is making time on Cody Dempster for the lead of the race. Dempster straight down to the bottom, so Kuhn doesn't have any chance at a crossover. He's going to stay with him out of the corner, but I think he's just a little bit faster exiting turn 4. Ryan Kuhn is going to pull to the inside down into turn 1. We're side by side for the lead, side by side for a third. Kuhn's going to get it right now. Will he be clear out of the corner? No, not quite. Cody Dempster still there down the straightaway.
Tried to make himself clear, use that right rear to move out of the way. But Dempster, whoa, big move by Dempster, tries to throw to the inside. Not enough momentum there. New leader, Ryan Kuhn. He's been silent all night long and makes his move late into this race. Meanwhile, we're side by side for 3rd and 5th.
Even worse for Dempster, he didn't stick it down to the inside after he made that move, and that was what let Terzak get in there to challenge him for 2nd. Oh, big contact back there for 5th. That's Matt Urban, Christian Peterson moving each other up the racetrack, and now they're dooring each other down the back straightaway. Neither driver happy. Urban gets the spot for now, and now there's more contact as Jake Grout tries to move around Christian Peterson for 6th.
All these drivers now under 25 laps to go. It's time to go here in this race. Ryan Kuhn out by almost half a second now. Kyle Terzak, 2nd driver back. Then it's Michael Weissman. Now Cody Dempster on the inside trying to get back into 3rd.
Dempster's got the inside. He'll have the advantage. He might try a slide job here on Weissman, but it won't work. He can't quite get clear there for 3rd, but he will on exit. That'll let Dempster move up to 3rd. And now we're side by side as Matt Weissman. Oh, Matt Urban almost spins Michael Weissman for 4th.
Big block there by Weissman. We saw him do it earlier. He does it again here with Matt Urban. Meanwhile, Christian Peterson gets back up into 6th after battling with Jake Grout. And look who's on the inside of Jake Grout. It's Sylvia.
Coming off pit road with some fresher tires, and he's making them work up to P7 right now. Ran the fastest lap of the race just a couple times ago. He's got a lot of speed in that car, but Grout is going to go right back up the inside.
We saw what happened earlier after these two went back and forth. Now make contact yet again. Grout moves Sylvia up the track. Nothing lost between these two as they continue to battle hard. Sylvia back, moves down to the inside. Will he make the lunge? Yes, he will. Big lunge, moves Jake Grout all the way to the outside. That's going to open the door 3 wide here on the exit of 4.
Grout's trying to dump, but look at this. Grout's trying to turn Sylvia, and he does. Jake Sylvia backwards on the straightaway, and we got a caution.
I'm speechless. And Kyle Adams saw that right there. This is not going to end well for Jake Grout.
That was one of the wildest about 7 laps I've ever seen in my life right there. And it ends with Jake Grout.
Between these two, and you can see it, Grout just continuing to turn left here on the drivertees.com replay and dump Sylvia.
Wow. What a 7-lap run there. I mean, there were cars going at everywhere. Kyle Adams already on the back of Jake Grout for that one. I was expecting if any car was going to do that there, it was going to be Christian Peterson with some of the beating and banging we saw out of those two. It's Jake Grout dumping Sylvia. Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to listen to them talk over the radio right now. Well, they're going to talk post-race because, man, Grout is not happy with the way Sylvia drove him, but I mean, Sylvia hasn't said much. I mean, it all started. We know Grout is an aggressive driver, but this was too much aggression tonight. That's too much.
I think this is one of those situations where we're very glad that we're all racing at our homes and our computers and we're not doing this on an actual track, or else someone would have a broken nose.
Yeah, the 49 has been parked by race control. And so this will be a discussion after post-race. And I imagine it will not end well for the 49 of Jake Grout. Glad he brought us that excitement, but man, that is not something you want to see out on track here for these drivers.
Not at all, and that's going to trigger a restart with 17 to go. Ryan Kuhn got through to the lead on that last run with Terzak 2nd, Dempster 3rd. Michael Wiseman, Matt Urban round out the top 5, but we've got more speed just outside that pack. Peterson, Crow, Adams, and Sylvia have all been mixing it up this race. It's going to be a wild run to the finish here over these last 16 laps.
It is absolutely going to be wild here all of this night. We thought it was going to be pretty calm. We've had a little bit of action here tonight, Sky.
Yeah, we've had a lot of action here tonight.
At some point, Terzak took his helmet off.
He's getting really into it now. I mean, he's got to have that clear vision of Ryan Kuhn in front so he can try to make that move there into the top 2.
Well, look, he's back there sitting in 3rd place on the inside. If Kuhn can get a great jump, that might move Terzak up into 2nd. And if he can make the pass quickly, well, he might have a chance at battling Ryan Kuhn for this win. When we come back here, we will have just under 16 laps to go.
And it's going to be a good battle to the finish over these last 15 laps. We've had a great one here tonight, especially over the last 10 laps. It's going to be really good to the finish, Scott.
Oh, it's going to be excellent. We're going to have to see who will prevail here tonight. Will it be Ryan Kuhn, an extremely talented veteran late model stock driver? Will it be Terzak, 5 wins on the season? Will it be Michael Weissman, an extremely talented driver yet to get a win? Or will it be Justin Crow or someone else? Green flag is away, 16 to go.
Kuhn is going to restart on the bottom here. That's maybe not the most popular choice. A lot of cars like the top. He makes it work pretty well for himself right there, and now that's going to let Terzak jump to the inside of Michael Wiseman, who restarted on that outside line. Terzak's got the run down into turns 3 and 4. He'll try to get clear of the 74 car.
He's got to make this pass quickly. He does, and now he has to set his sights all up front to Ryan Kuhn, less than 0.2 of a second away. Meanwhile, Cody Dempster moves to the inside. Here, Weissman trying to get back into 3rd. He's been on that podium all night long.
And don't look now, but here comes Justin Crow. He threw a big block on Matt Urban to keep himself in 5th, and now he's looking at this side-by-side pack. Wiseman and Dempster in front of him. If Wiseman stays stuck on that top and Dempster's able to get around him on the bottom, expect Justin Crow to follow him on through for 4th. That's what they're doing right now. Wiseman still struggling on that top line, and we'll see if Matt Urban back there in 5th can get around him.
Crow now pulls himself side by side to the inside, and there's a freight train coming behind him because it's Weissman there, then Urban and Christian Peterson, and even Jake Sylvia. So Weissman has to try to find a way down to the bottom, but I don't know how he's going to do it.
I'm not sure either, because it's going to be behind Jake Sylvia until he's got a hole. He's going to need to force something to happen here. And now Peterson's going to look to the inside of him as well, following Matt Urban through. Peterson's actually going to try to take it 3 wide, but he runs out of room. There's an inside wall there, and he can't go any lower, and he won't be able to stick it up the inside of Urban. For now, he's going to try it again down into 3.
A little bit of contact there between him and Urban on that inside move, but Weissman still stuck on the outside, and this opens the door for Jake Sylvia now. So Weissman from this restart has gone from 2nd, and right here he'll drop all the way down to 8th before the first time he can get on the inside line.
Great battle up here. Sylvia's going to get around him, but this is still about 9 cars in 2 seconds. We know how fast these drivers can run. We know how well they're able to stay together. We've seen that over the last 11 laps, but it's time for a lot of these guys to go. Wiseman will find his hole in front of Sylvia, and now he'll try to get on the rebound. We know he has top 5 speed. Can he get back up there? We know Peterson led in the early stages of this race. Can he get back up there? We saw Cody Dempster start on pole. Can he get back up there? A lot of drivers who think they have a faster car than where they are, and that's going to make for a really fun final 10 laps tonight.
10 laps left to go, like you said, and look at this. Kyle Terzak closing that gap yet again between himself and the 72 of Ryan Kuhn. He's got 10 laps to try to go and make a move, but it's not going to be easy there. We cross over 9 here to go.
They're both right around that bottom. Terzak dropping all the way onto the apron to try to get any speed he can, get any sort of run he can on that 72 car, but he doesn't quite have it yet. He'll drop back down into 3 and 4. A little later on the braking than Ryan Kuhn, trying to bring that car right up to the bumper. We'll see what he can get done down the front straightaway. 8 to go this time.
Only 4/100ths of a second between them. Then they run some of their fastest laps of the race, 30.607 and 30.6 flat. So there's only 7/1000ths of a second between these two front drivers. Goes to show how fast they are and goes to show how hard it's going to be to get around that 72 of Kuhn because he is so fast.
Look at the focus on Kyle Terzak's face right there. He's barely even blinking. He is locked in, trying to get this run on Ryan Kuhn. That gap is staying steady. They ran nearly identical lap times last time around, and that 15 is still in the fight. He's got 7 more laps as we head down the back straightaway to make something happen on Ryan Kuhn, who's ran the fastest lap all race.
Gap between them now in lap time, 5/1000ths of a second. That's how close these two front drivers are. So fast here tonight. Is there anything that Terzak can give to Ryan Kuhn?
Well, that's what we're going to find out over the next 6 laps. We're battling further back, too. This is Christian Peterson getting around Matt Urban. I saw a crazy block out of one of these cars. They were both all the way down, almost in the grass on the back straightaway trying to make moves. Matt Urban with a huge switchback, but he won't make it work. We'll see if that lets Wiseman get a run on him in the 74.
Didn't have enough room there, didn't want to cause a caution there and spin out Christian Peterson. So Peterson has moved himself back up into this top 5 after having earlier incident with Jake Sylvia. And so Peterson has found himself back up here, up near the front. But I don't think there's enough time for him to get back to this lead.
If he can keep holding about 3 spots ahead of Jake Sylvia here, it'll do him really well in the point standings, because that's going to get him even closer to Sylvia. He came into this about 50 points behind, and he'll leave with that gap, cut at least a third off it if he can get a good run here tonight.
That's a great point, Sky. We'll have to see and hope Christian Peterson can finish there. Is there enough time for him to close the gap down to 4th place Justin Crowe? Or is that out of his reach in that Skyline Chassis 171? We'll go along here with Matt Urban in his 48 RKM machine. Running in 6th currently as we cross over here. It's going to be 3 laps to go at the line for Ryan Kuhn.
And Terzak's falling off. He doesn't have the speed that he needs. He's falling closer to Cody Dempster behind him in 3rd and Justin Crowe back there in 4th. Those drivers are really starting to make some speed. Maybe too little too late, but they might be able to get Terzak here because he has dropped half a second back of Ryan Kuhn as we come around to 2 to go.
Yeah, Kuhn running a 30.63. Meanwhile, Terzak running a 30.71. So just used up that speed earlier and looks like he won't have anything to give. Ryan Kuhn. This is Ryan Kuhn's race to lose as we cross over 2 laps to go.
Ooh, Dempster in the fence there out of turn 2. Caught that outside wall, and that'll cost him a lot of time. That might be what gives Terzak 2nd in this race. But 2nd isn't going to get the trophy. That's going to go to Ryan Kuhn, and he's got a 0.4 of a second lead as he rounds turn 4 and the white flag waves.
Ryan Kuhn, he started once at Phoenix, the 1 mile track there, and he got the win. He's looking here to keep this last lap clean. 1/2 of a lap to go here for Ryan Kuhn. Is there anything that Kyle Terzak can do? I don't think it's going to happen for him. Meanwhile, Dempster will sit there in 3rd. But it's all about this 72 machine. It's Ryan Kuhn yet again out of turn number 4. He's going to win for a 2nd time in the Misfit Touring Series.
And a great drive from him to get it done. Terzak 2nd, Dempster 3rd, Crowe and Peterson round out your top 5, and Ryan Kuhn in the Ryan Kuhn setup shop car is going to get to burn it down.
Ryan Kuhn still running that Christmas scheme, a little bit congratulatory bump there from Kyle Terzak, and he's 2 for 2 on the season so far.
Pretty good record to have.
Hey, I'd want to have it. Ryan Kuhn, we know his veteran talent in the Sara series and many other late model stock series out there. I mean, he is one of the ones to beat. And if you can, you have done something that not a lot of people have said that they have done before. So Ryan Kuhn gets the win here. Kyle Turzak, Cody Dempster come up short. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll get you back with results and our interviews.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
After a thrilling battle there to the end, it's Ryan Kuhn coming home with the win here at the Milwaukee Mile. And we'll get you our results here in just a moment. But what a show he put on tonight. He was quiet in the first half and brought himself up towards the lead. You'll see him there in the 72 machine. It was Turzak and Dempster coming up just short there in the second and third position. It was Justin Crowe having another night in the top 5 where he's been almost all season long. Christian Peterson battled himself from the back 3 separate times, finishes in the top 5. Then Matt Urban and Michael Weissman battle a lot here tonight, finished 6th and 7th. Jake Sylvia, we saw him in a lot of controversy there with Jake Rout. He'll finish in 8th. And Kyle Adams and Jesse Janes round out your field here with the top 10.
And rounding out your field tonight will be Jace Hale in 11th. Alex Howard are in 12th. Larry Gibson 13th. Jake Rout parked for the night in 14th. Craig Wilcott and Matt Mingo scratched from the field, did not make the green flag.
So let's get Ryan Kuhn in here because, oh my goodness, what a race for Ryan Kuhn. Ryan, talk to me about this. You were a little bit quiet here in the first half. Were you saving, making a plan? I know you're a veteran driver in this late model stock. We know your talent in a lot of the series you've been in and the race that you've run here. Talk to me about how you were thinking about this 100-lap race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the start of the race, I was just trying to save a little bit. I was thinking we're going to go, green to the end. Hopefully, I was thinking we were going to go 100 laps green to the end, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I was thinking if I could save enough fuel, we could, make it all the way to the end on fuel. And then I realized you won't be able to make it on tire to the end. So I kind of just picked it up at like lap 20 and started picking up a few spots. And then we had that early yellow and kind of jumbled everything around. Just pitted for, put a little bit of fuel in the first stop. And then the second stop, we obviously came in for tires. So I think it was really good on tires. Really happy with the way the car drove. Very glad that, all of our guys had a really good run. So it was a great night.
Well, we've seen you here make 2 starts so far in the Misfit Touring Series Season 2, and they've both been at mile tracks. We saw you at Phoenix. I missed you that weekend. I was out. But, man, here you get the win again in another mile. What is it about these mile tracks? Because I know you're good on the regular short tracks, too.
Yeah, it's something with these tracks. I feel like we've hit on something, especially with setups. These bigger tracks, 1 mile plus, or even Richmond have really been my bread and butter, and trying to figure out the big tracks is key because, an official, you never know, it could have a schedule with 3 1 mile plus tracks. So I felt like we really hit on something, and it's really worked at about almost every single track we've ran that's bigger than a mile. So I'm really happy. We've got this place figured out now. We've got Phoenix figured out, and um, I'm just hoping we could stay this good.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised for you and everybody at RKM. You had such a clean night that I don't have too much to talk to you about tonight because, man, you ran a great race as you normally always do. Before I let you go, anyone you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, all my guys at RKM set up shop for feedback. All my customers and dev drivers, supporters. Um, for everyone who's put in the time and supported me and backed me. My real life sponsors, Everett's Auto Parts, for all the opportunities I've had in the real world. Peter Bernier, Modern Auto Body, Cape Cod Central Railroad, Coastal Heritage Bank, 01 Designs. Everyone who's ever helped me get to the point I am today.
Well, Ryan, we hope to see you back before the end of the season at another race with us. We always love to watch you out there.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that was Ryan Kuhn, your winner here, second win of the season in 2 starts. But it was Kyle Terzak coming up just short, and Sky Shrek has caught up with him.
Hey, Kyle, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
We saw how focused you were there through your driver camp trying to get to Kuhn, but you couldn't get it done. Walk us through that final restart and how it kind of shook out for you at the end of that race.
Yeah, took the inside right there, and I kind of faked out Cody, and I knew that was pretty funny. But yeah, I kind of just needed a little bit more from myself. I feel like that Kuhn was pretty good. He's always really good. He's the best probably on short track right now. It's just Ryan Kuhn. You can't beat him, boss man. But yeah, we fired off at the beginning, not really that good, and it was honestly just I felt like that I didn't really have this place figured out. This is my first ever time running this place. I just got the track as soon as practice went up, and I know Kuhn has a ton of laps here, so I just knew that if I was even close to him, that would be a good. So I was definitely close to him and kind of had a couple chances, but I just didn't have the run to get to him.
Yeah, we've heard from other drivers this season. Does Kuhn being your teammate kind of play a role in how you drive at the end of this race?
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, he's a teammate, but we're still racing. I'm here to win and try to get back in this points fight. And at the end of the day, we're just racing, and I'm trying to get everyone I can.
All right, well, we got a very different track next week in the Las Vegas Bull Ring. Are you excited for that one?
No, not at all. That was one of my worst tracks with this car, so definitely need to put a lot of time into that, and hopefully we can go get another W there.
All right, well, anyone you want to thank or shout out tonight?
I want to thank Kyle Adams for putting on this league, you guys for the broadcast, RKM Sub Shop, Kuhn had us rolling right there, Crosham Shots, Justin Brooks Designs, and Terzak Racing on Facebook.
All right, well, congrats on second place tonight, Kyle Terzak.
Thank you, appreciate it.
While we were talking to him, Scott has caught up with third place tonight, Cody Dempster.
Yeah, Cody Dempster, man, you had a quiet night all round. You started up on the pole after the invert with winning your heat, and you got cycled back, but man, you were always on that podium. Talk to me about that consistency here tonight.
It was kind of unexpected, to be honest with you. I came into this with about 4 or 5 laps of practice and qualifying trim only, and just kind of did what I had to do. Just did what I felt was right. When we fired off there, I wanted to lead a couple laps just to see what the set was going to do, and then just kind of ride. I didn't want to fall back because track position is huge here, just like it is anywhere in these cars. But I didn't want to fall back too far, and also didn't want to burn my stuff up at the same time. So I was just trying to find that right balance throughout the whole race.
Yeah, a great night for you and your team, all your guys at RKM, a 1, 2, 3 for sure. But talk to me about what more you needed here tonight. Again, I know that consistent run was unexpected, but what did you think you needed more to be able to battle with Terzak and Kuhn?
Seat time, in all honesty. It was one of those deals where after about 6 or 7 laps into a run, I was dead even with Kuhn, and I was actually clicking better than Terzak, but getting fired off, getting back into that rhythm. I've always been such a rhythm driver, so for me to fire off and try and hit those 4 or 5 really good laps when we're all bunched up was just hard for me to do, and it was just a lack of seat time more than anything.
Well, we go to the Las Vegas Bull Ring next week. It's a very different track than this one. First of all, have you ever run it before? And if not, are you going to get that seat time in?
I've ran it both outside of the sim in a legend car, and then I've ran it in the sim too. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but
no.
Yeah, I'll be out of town in Virginia next week visiting some family.
Gotcha. Well, when are we going to see you the next week?
Most likely, depending on what happens. We're starting to ramp up into actual race season. We're just waiting to hang the body on the car, and then it's going to start getting into testing season and everything like that. So it's going to be kind of hit or miss for me. I'll be here as much as I can be here. But notes for going into Bull Ring is it races a lot like the actual track does. They did a really good job when they scanned that facility. And I think it's actually a really racy little place. It's hard to be on the top. You're going to see a lot of bottom dominant racing, but it's really easy to set up a pass and get a run, especially in the 3. That's where all your action is going to be.
Well, the drivers will have to take that into their notes and into their account. A guy who has raced there before. Cody, before we let you go tonight, anyone you'd like to thank?
I got to thank Ryan. He gave us a killer set. He kind of, kicked every one of our butts tonight, starting from the tail and driving to the front. So obviously, Wheelman built us a good setup. You guys for putting the broadcast on and doing a hell of a job. The new graphics look awesome. And Kyle Adams and all the guys in MRL for putting this deal on week in and week out, even though we're a bunch of frustrating guys to deal with.
Well, we appreciate you, Cody. We hope to see you back soon. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was Cody Dempster, and man, what a night, what a show. 100 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile, and it wasn't without a little bit of chaos, but we'll talk about the race in just a moment, but we go to the Bull Ring next week. Personally, Sky, I love this racetrack.
This is going to be fun. It's the exact opposite of Milwaukee. We're going from a 1 mile big, fast track to a short 1/3 of a mile high banked oval. It could not be any more different, and that is going to make it a lot of fun. We've seen these short tracks provide action all season. I don't think next week is going to be any exception.
I would have to agree with you. I absolutely love this short track. I honestly wish I was racing in it with these guys, but we'll be up here in the booth January 25th, or excuse me, what's today? Today is January 25th. It'll be, I think it's February 1st. So February 1st, we'll be up in the Bull Ring out at Las Vegas, and I'm really excited about that, Sky, because it is going to be a blast and definitely a different style of track. But run me through your thoughts on our race tonight and the grueling 100 laps at the Milwaukee Mile.
Man, it was really fun when we had so much action, so much drama, and I think it's going to be a race that's going to be remembered for a decently long time in the Misfit Touring Series. I think all in all, it ended out pretty good. We got a good battle at the end, and we had some great racing through the mid-pack all throughout.
I would have to agree with you, and I am so glad that we got to see all of that here tonight. Well, that'll be all for us here tonight on V-Speed. This for everyone at V-Speed and MRL. For Kyle Adams and Jake Sylvia at Misfit Productions, for Bradley Cooper at V-Speed, for DJ Lyon in production, and my colleague in the booth, Sky Shrek. My name is Scott Shive, and we'll see you next week at the Bull Ring.